Woo!
Hi.
Let's see.
In the chat.
Is that where the comments show?
Yeah, put in the chat function on the side. Don't mess with that stuff.
All right. Good morning, everybody.
There we go.
Yay. Cool. All right. We got it running.
Give it a minute.
Let's see. Telegram.
Curious if this still...
You're able to go live on Telegram?
Oh, the telly. Hold on.
We're here. Rob, we're here. Good morning, loves.
Nice.
Grand Rising. Happy Sunday.
Telegram.
Definitely a day where heaven and earth are merging into one, because that's what's happening.
Drop that.
Good morning, Irene. Good morning, Bobby. Let's see. Yes, showing up and working well. I'm so happy. Cool. Let me share the stream and Al hooks up the Telegram.
Trying to remember how to do that.
It's been a moment. We love you.
Here we go.
Awesome. Wow. Well, what intense energy days.
Cool.
It's been amazing yesterday. YouTube live as well. Grand Rising. Family on Telegram. Yesterday was, I feel, obviously very individual in everyone's experience, but a high energy day. Looking into mom's journals. There barely any entrances, so that means that it's been a high processing day ever since. So obviously for us as well. Aloha to South Africa.
Cheers.
Love you, Mike. Love you, Jen on YouTube.
Cheers.
Cheers. Enjoy your coffee. Get grounded in the morning.
Wow. Yeah, just a little bit of a spin with some things. It happens so often. This is what I learned in college from a degree, is that you should talk about the idea, because when you get into all the niggly particular bits, while I've learned from mom is so important. Sometimes you got to learn to look at the bigger picture, especially when there's a lot of things happen you can't do anything about. You just have to be. You can't actively control it. It's something's happening and you don't know why. And so I'll just say this: we're having our car worked on over here, and things haven't gone as I thought they would go. Decided to use a nice local guy rather than a big giant place mechanic. Save some money. Well, good job. Good, because it's still not done, and it's almost been 24 hours. And I'm realizing this is an interesting thing, because I went to see this guy before he finished, just because that's the way it worked out with the ride that I had, and I feel I spun him by my presence. I feel I asked a couple of questions. I wanted to look at what he was doing. He started to explain himself, and then the car would not move after he was done. I tried to put it into any gear and it would not move. And I got him messaging me, and I can feel him spinning. I can feel him having he's like, oh, I feel it's this, or maybe it's that. And I'm talking to Kat over here, and I'm like, yeah, he just has to take accountability, because they're telling me it's something that he did underneath there. And it's funny, because right after it happened, this is me, it's my own reflection, he blamed me. He made a joke, but he blamed me for it not working, because I showed up and distracted him. And it's just interesting, and I sit here now figuring it all out. That's why I'm talking about it, is that, I blame, this things happen, or a situation of control drama occurs with someone else, and I want to blame that person. I want to blame that person for what they're doing is affecting me and how I'm now where I'm at because they're where they're at. And that's literally the biggest giant test is you got to be cool. You got to be cool like a cucumber. And that's really the most important thing to do through it all, because like in this particular situation, I can't do much. There's only so much that I mean, stay calm and, you know, express myself about how I feel. And that's, and we'll get into it in just a moment. And I feel that's bringing it into Manifest again and any other show where people are coming back and having abilities, because this isn't the first one. You know, we have to realize that we have truth within us and we have to speak it. And even when, you know, because it's literally this, it's either the whole truth and you're expressing it and you're going to get them, or you have something within you that you're going to show and then it's going to play out. And you got to stop denying that piece of yourself.
It's funny because Greggy just dropped a comment. Our expectations also spin others. And I resonate with that a lot. Like if you feel others people's energy sometimes when they have an expectation from you to, I don't know, to help you, to do something, to answer a question, you know, of their problem. But you're like totally in a different reality right now, kind of like, I don't know, channeling, for example. And then like this expectation of your help, like, no, I'm doing this right now. So I can see that how, you know, it happens with us too, where I often, you know, have expectations of like, for example, if I get the ping to walk the dogs, I'm like, let's do it in unity and everyone together and come on. And then I spin myself because I have this expectation where I have to just really detach and kind of like, you know, look at myself. So what kind of expectation was there basically for him to be done probably before the sun goes down?
I mean, I feel that he literally manifested his own reality. I watched it. I feel that that's a big thing because I sat there and I was like, this is, you know, because I said to myself, it doesn't matter to me when it's done. It's just that the, you know, driver I had to get us there had, you know, could only drive during the day. And so, you know, me just chilling there and yeah, I can feel him, you know, I could feel his energy. And he made comments that he doesn't want to screw it up and that he doesn't want to forget anything. Like he continuously made those comments for a short duration of time. And then he said to me that he created it by saying it. That was the first thing he said.
Right.
So his higher self came in.
It happens to me a lot. Like, right. where I'm like, oh, I don't know if you guys know that you get ready to leave somewhere and you're like, oh, I can't forget this. I gotta remember this. I gotta grab this before I go. And then like, that's the part you forget.
Just do it immediately. Because I feel that the expectation is a growth out of having lower thought in general. So I feel you're good. You can contest it, but I got you.
I know, but I don't like
it
happens.
Oh, did that go off for everyone? We're just trying to... We're using a new computer and it just went to sleep.
I'm pretty sure it's still there, but I'm not sure how to change it.
Let us know, everyone, in the comments if anything just went down at all because the computer went to sleep. So I'm just curious if it still picked up on everything. Was the green dot still on when it went down?
I don't know.
Question. I see you.
Okay. We will see. They will see.
I'll keep randomly touching the pad and we'll, you know.
Yay, Mike says I see you.
Okay,
all seems
good.
Yay, beautiful. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's so many things that we literally don't have control of in our reality. Like, you know, even this technical device that now goes to sleep. Haha.
Right, and then
what a reflection.
And then so there you
humanity,
go.
Wake up.
Our lower thought, right? It just happened. I'm loving this because we were like, what are we going to talk about today? I was like, I guess what's happening. And so our lower thought of it that, oh no, the stream went down. Oh no, and I saw both of us be like, what do we do? Because why did we do that? Oh, I'm in doubt about it actually because it was fine. So the expectation that it's going to be worse than what it could be is what's creating this. It's what's creating the spin because now you got to go back and you have to untwirl it. You have to unspin it because you just went into it and now you got to re-engineer it, you know, reverse engineer it.
And that's exactly how the ego can hijack us like so quickly. You're in a situation and like you have this first thought of, oh no, whatever the lower is like in this moment. And then like you're spinning, but at the end you realize like, oh no, like it's all divinely set up. We're all protected, like with all this, with the car thing and everything. When I tapped in, what I
Telegram
felt,
just went down.
when I tapped in, what I got through was like, it's gonna drive again. It's all right. Like it's this test. It's even this test of like staying centered through it all, and seeing it as it is, trusting that whatever energy is at play will be transformed and will come out. And these moments are really high intense. And if people out there, they have no idea of all of that, and then sit in this concrete garage working on this car, probably not one time stepping outside to like ground, for example, breathe, have a break, connect to earth, tune in the energies, feel themselves, recenter. So important. Like I know it myself, if I clean, for example, for a friend, and just like go at it, clean the whole house, and then in the end I'm spinning because I didn't stop and ground in between. So very multidimensional experience.
This is true. There's so much to this.
Right.
Yeah. That's yeah. Kelly's funny. Kelly, you're a trip. This is a big thing. Go. Yeah, I got it back up. I don't. It's like love someone said Rob. Telegram was being weird. Hey Rob, if you got anything, you can jump on in. And I love you so much, man. So yeah, thank you, Kelly. We're all different. This is something we've discussed as a team, is that it's important for different people to be going live because of. Thanks, Rob. Thank you. See, I knew you had something to share with me.
Something very important.
And this is a big thing. Yeah, different people, different energies. This is something that we've discussed here, is that what's going to really make the new earth a reality? What's the most practical thing we can involve ourselves in at the root of this movement, this cause, this movement into new earth? Fractals, fractal energy, right? That is what we've always been called. Different groups of beings that support love are fractals. And this is a deep part of creation itself. Looking at the Fibonacci sequence, understanding fractals as a whole. We could do a whole entire thing on just sacred geometry and how that factors into the golden ratio and like I said, the Fibonacci, the spiral of life. And when you watch a YouTube video with fractals, and you'll see it, that it just keeps going in, yet it's also going out. And that's the spin. That's you spin in, spin out. What's the difference? You're figuring it out. You're moving forward, right? That's the whole goal. And if you got to circle back around and go full circle, then do that. And that's a big thing, because only once you continuously understand that being within you, and that's what I'm saying from our story. This guy's me. This mechanic guy is me, and I have to feel for him, right? I have to have compassion, because there's a piece of me that wants to be angry because I'm angry at myself for not having gotten it done sooner or done it myself. But then I realized maybe this was the highest way, because it was funny when he ended up giving me a ride back last night, and because he was still working on it, and my ear started to kind of, I get this energy. It's not necessarily a ring. I'll get to a ring, but before the ring happens, like for days or weeks, I get these different fluctuations in my ear. So like I feel the pressure change, and it's this like opening up, like that pressure kind of leaves, and then I can almost tune in better. And as he was driving me back, this happened. And I'm like, so that means that there's a highest timeline occurring. You're moving into the highest timeline. Or you're on it, really, because you're sensing it. And so what are you going to do? Like it's an interesting,
surrender.
You just surrender, right? Like I got to let it go, and it just is what it is. I'm kind of venting a little bit here right now, because this is what I do. I don't know what else to do. I got to share my love, like how I'm getting back to it.
We love you. And that's, I feel, one important thing is to express, because while we express, we often figure it out ourselves. And Bobby just said, Alabama Fractal holding it down, yo. Get him, Bobby.
Yeah, anyone near the golf, go visit the booby.
Nice. And that's a beautiful thing. Like, we all come together, and our energies are so unique. We all have like a puzzle piece to this big creation, and everyone has those codes to unlock each other. So whatever this experience brings, one thing, it brought the amazing awareness, for Elle to really feel into like, hey, this guy is me. So what's this reflection showing me? And then, the simple fact that we are able to interact with him and, help him through knowing more about, 3D people. Like, we don't just freak out and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Something like that. It's like, no, it's, really feeling into our words that we share with who matter. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. What came through for me last night or yesterday in general from Mom a lot is, being. What does it really mean? Being. It means tapping into your power, your light, your authentic, individual, unique self, and radiating that light. What that also means is we have to learn to fully trust ourselves, because especially, I can speak for me as a woman, like, our power was stripped in a way that we got afraid of showing that power of love. We got afraid of truly express ourselves, of speaking the truth and standing up. And we learn, and one thing that I learned with Mom, like, no matter what, we can trust. And as soon as we like start to flip it and kind of like zoom out in the observer mode as our higher self, things like that are like, nice, trigger, bring it on, challenge. All right, Mom, angels, what we got here, like, we're not here to just serve a system and go get money. Like, we're here to grow our soul into galactic beings in oneness with all freaking creation, everyone out there. And it's freaking amazing how Mom is, so brilliantly, literally merging heaven and earth, because that's what's happening. Like, it's merging into an understanding of more than just our own self. Like, the biggest self-realization is there is no self. I can't serve just myself, because it's going to hurt me in the end. What we serve is love for the greater good, realizing that we're all one. That man's me. We're one. We are one. We're all reflections from each other, fractals of that light of God. So coming together to bigger fractals is gonna even like radiate, bigger, because, we come together in our energy fields on a level where we can truly assist each other, not in savior program, not in like a controlling way, but in a compassionate way of, okay, what's that reflection for me? What guidance do we get through that we can share with each other? And the givers are gathering is a big phrase. That's the process, the integration we're in right now of like people leaving the big cities, coming together with those beings that resonate more. It's like magnets. We're all little light-filled magnets on Earth starting to come together, creating a bigger light. And yeah.
And it's just interesting, and a video comes back to me, and I'm reflecting on some people I've known. And, it would be a beautiful thing if we could all be born into families that were already on that path and trajectory that we're resonating with to move forward with. And I feel that that's really the catch-22 when it comes down to it, is that you might be born into a family like that. And, everyone's very forward and progressive. Yet also, they're showing me a guy I knew in college who ultimately like became that very like earth-centered person, like, simple lifestyle, and like he didn't grow up like that at all. He wasn't like that in college, and got married, had some children, and very just like calm, cool lifestyle of like being closer to the earth. Didn't always work out though. Got a divorce, like it's broken now, but he's still doing his thing. He's still meeting new people now. Actually, I've seen that he like has meet more people now, gone to more gatherings of like heart. And that's something that he involved himself more into, because I feel that ended. And so it's feeling into that you may be born into it. You may, find a being that you're in love with and that you're going to go on those adventures with and find that group. Maybe you're going to create that yourself. You got to realize that how else do we shift the energy back to the people? Well, that is people coming together in like heart to create something, right? Who are the things that, what are those things that are the old controllers of this old paradigm, right? These corporations, things like that. Well, what did they do? They gathered together, okay? They made decisions together, right? Usually one person is telling everyone else what's going to happen. Nevertheless, I'm expressing it in that higher way. And then they created a foundation, and then they built upon that, and then crossed the planet. You know, some of them across their country, across their region. And so we just have to realize that we as one being of love can affect everything in a positive way. It is a ripple effect. And the love and that devotion to love will always be stronger than anything in fear, you know? And that's something that I feel we just went through, you know, with everything going on, is that, because I realize now where my fear had went. My fear of putting it, you know, I got on Cat last night about the thought system. Okay. But I realize now that the minute that our car, you know, Love's car wouldn't go anywhere, anywhere, I was like, oh no, it's never moving again. This is it. This is its rest. Because then I realized today when I woke up, I went there. I didn't really think that last night, but I did. I had that underlying seeding thought that then after rest, waking up going, yeah, oh shit. And I'm seeing that. So grateful for the experience now, because it's definitely and I see now, and just all the thoughts, that's what it is. We are here to take back the thought system. Wait, not take. We're here to get back to our original divine state of childlike wonder, innocence, joy, gracefulness, compassion, passion, these things, and stop thinking so much about this and that and how this and that is going to happen to you, because you know what it is? That is I want to say, I'm not too sure, but your parasympathetic nervous system, which is actually activating because you're going into fear states. So your nervous system is getting nervous and it's sensing fight or flight. And so you feel like this is going to affect your survival. So you're acting out of those baseline layers. And this is basically the reptilian brain, which we all have. And then we have another brain on top of that. And then we have another one that's really fully being formed. And that's that frontal lobe. And that's where your cognitive abilities come from, because that's your cognition. You know, that's your individualized state of your actions and how you decide to do those things. So almost a moral compass. So I realize now that, you know, the thought system is everything. That's where we went off. That's the whole point of this. You want to talk about disclosure? The whole disclosure is that the thought system is literally an injection of lower energy that has manifested throughout time and space simply because of the separation from God, from love, from source, from, I don't care what you call it. It doesn't matter. That's it. That's it. And we're saying it's done.
And the funny thing is that, like, that literally is it, because back in Lemuria Atlantis timeline, they killed the physical vessel representing the divine feminine prime source. They hijacked and infiltrated the dream machine, and that was it. That's all they had to do, literally, is like implement lower thoughts, implement lower vibrational frequencies of fear, of doubt, of hate, of separation into the dream machine. What is that? It is basically, I would say, like the energy field, that the unity consciousness that we are connected with. And with mom as, you know, a physical vessel, again, after all this time from Lemuria Atlantis, being able to simply anchor in that prime source feminine aspect, was able to come in and flip that dream machine. It is in the 10 degrees. Maybe towards the end we can read them out. That would be
sure.
Cool. Where it says, like, it is set back to the highest vibrational thought or fact there is, which is unconditional love, mirroring unconditional love, period. That happens. So we are literally our reflections, which means we can take the accountability of whatever ego we see and feel and realize is there in others, because it's within us, to come back and align back to the thought of unconditional love mirroring unconditional love. It's already there. The consciousness is already there. Just we have to, transmute all those blocks and get there and realize that it's our belief systems. And something Mom showed me really brilliantly yesterday on the when we were at the river, how these in-streaming energies that are being, streaming in, and the crown chakra is this, connection to the higher. And it's literally like bursting through, like you have pipes with like the calcification and the chalk and all that shit crap in there. And then you pump this like high pressure water through there. It's just like bursting it out. It's cleaning it out. And that's literally the phase we're in. That in-streaming energy is flushing through our being. And as long as we don't try to like hold on to all those belief system and blocks and limitations and crap that's there, it's a rather smooth process of letting it go, of allowing it to change, of allowing the fact of, oh, I was wrong. Like, that's not divine at all. This is my belief system. Big ass lie. Well, throw it out, let it go, cut cords, and just realize in the game of ascension, in the game of evolution and soul growth, you learn something new. Your ego might get upset, but your higher self knows, like, this is another step towards freedom, another step towards that unconditional love expressing itself in the unknown, unknowable. I feel Mom sometimes did things that she wasn't even aware, like, whoa, what did I just do? Like, wow.
I mean, who else is having that, where you just end up doing, saying, something, even having a thought of something, and then there's manifestation out of that. And in reflection, you went, where did that even come from? How did I even realize that how did I show up at this place at this moment and this happened, and I had no clue how I even got here. Yeah. And so this is a big thing. And then the flip, something that I had heard growing up was this constant notion of walking into a room and forgetting completely what it is that you went in there for. Kind of the flip of that. We still have that experience at moments. And it's a realization that I feel twofold. Either one, was the thought even real in the first place? That's why you forgot it. Or two, it's so important because it's actual higher level guidance. And it was so high level. It was just so high consciousness. The vibration was so wide, and that you're like, really, there's so much to absorb. So you end up, I feel they're showing me, like, just disconnecting and shutting off. And that seems to be what happened to our transmission. And so that's the thing. And that it's a whole circuit. And they're showing me physics right now, and how, one thing, just one wire, one lack of connection or switch, you can't have the whole entire circuit work. And that's what we're getting back to, is we're realizing that there's these different literal neural pathways, and you have to reconnect that. And even if one's, what's going on here, what's going on there, you have to realize that there are already holes, right? There's already holes in your ship that you're going along this journey. You've created them, okay, through being essentially in the experience. It's, when you realize everyone's like, this planet is, oh God, it's just so, well, it got, because it's so pure, because it has the ability to be such an experience here, it got hijacked. That's the whole point. Let it go. We're doing everything we can, right, to drain the swamp, right, to clear it out, to just, Drano that thing, just straight up, just, and it's funny because the main ingredient in that is lie, and that's the main ingredient to create the nano-coated triskelions to nano-coat copper. Okay, so when you interact copper and lie and heat, and you do it correctly and in a divine space, you will basically, what it seems is, you have oil on water and then it makes that sheeny look. Well, it creates that on the copper. and it seems to elevate its overall ability, field, aura. That its energy is increased.
It's interesting because through the nano coating, you don't have the energy going like through the copper itself. Nano, like the coat, is basically nanoparticles of the copper building this coat, and the energy through that. So if you feel into it, like the particles are smaller of the copper, so it's has less resistance of the energy like going through it. That's why it's more potent.
Well, it's similar to oxidization.
Yeah.
And they're showing me how a lot in nature will do that to protect itself. That it feels in the presence of something that it's in danger, so it has this simple response. And it comes down to alchemy when because it also is a beautiful thing. Just like a pine cone, ends up opening itself up, in different conditions, right? And then you have other types of things that in fire will, open up, in the presence of fire only will that shell open so the seed can drop. So this is life,
right?
Yeah, this is the way life is.
Yeah.
At least at the moment and how it's working, and you got to roll with that. You just got to be like, okay, that's that's the conditions, and yet there are miraculous events. There are things unexplained. We're living in the unknown, so we have to embrace that in order for us to propel forward. And so grateful for all the training, the experience, because going with the flow of life is really important. And when you do that, you will reach your highest timeline. That's what I encourage everyone to do. Because for me being here at this point in my life, it was because even though I did at moments listen to people when I feel like they weren't giving me the highest advice, that was a lesson. I always did my best to go within and find an answer of how to move forward. And I realized now that some of it was really solid because it guided me away from things that I was really, I would say, hell-bent on. I was like, oh, that's what I'm doing! And it just never happened. It never occurred, like life directions. And that's good because that stuff would have kept me from being right here, right now. So embracing that, they're just showing me a lot of balance with it all and reflection and, just be calm.
Absolutely. That's was my focus yesterday. And I feel like for everyone, that is a big focus in these moments in general, is like this slowing down to be able to speed back up. Because if you're not slow, if you're not, first still before you move, first have a breath, first have a prayer, like every step that mom took upon this planet, literally every step in front of the other one, everything she touched was out of a state of prayer. And that's, the possibility of us finding in our organic state as well through the prayer, because it literally in the brain, the areas that are activated and create fear, create fight and flight, create this like anxiety, even create depression, even create pain through prayer and through singing or humming or chanting. This is being transmuted because the same part of the brain is activated by this prayer to love, by this prayer to, whatever it is that is there, pray for the highest to come out, instead of being dragged down by something. And then literally that pain, that area in your brain is being lit up through that expression of love, of gratitude. So even in the worst moments, if you sit there and you're praying gratitude for what you do have, that is like way more powerful than a millionaire being like, oh yeah, thanks Jesus, and like starts eating or something, like this unconscious little prayer or something. Like really finding that space of slowing down and looking around and be like, wow, like no matter what, I'm here now. And I feel, many of us have had the most extreme different experiences in their life that are all in the end just a part of God's life, because God is literally expressing herself through us as her children, as her creation. And I feel that that aspect of deep forgiveness is something that is coming through a lot. We had a beautiful call yesterday. It was just a couple feminine beings, love you sisters, that came together and just had the guidance to be together, and everyone just expressed where they were at and stuff. And it's a lot, realizing the process of, we had by contract to take on darkness, to experience darkness. So then in this, reality of dualism, we can feel the difference of darkness to light. We feel the difference of, spinning to not spinning. We feel the difference of being totally out of whack and depressed, and being, in peace and just happy with life. So we had to go through certain things, and knowing that our soul is strong enough to transmute any pain, related or attached to any experiences we had. Like, this is how strong God made us, and how strong we chose to be. We were like raising our hand, we're like, all right, I know I have the willpower to take on the control drama programming and the bitch program, like kind of like on the market. We're all picked out where we want to go together with God. And that's the thing, we have to find back to being with God, to realize that in the original moment we made this decision with God. We're not a victim of anything that happens to us. We're not incapable of coming out of this deep hole. We dig it ourselves, which means we're able to rise above it. And I was guided to pick a video from Mom, which is at a stupa. You probably know where that is. It's a humanity's prayers of love answered, a ceremony that Mom did, and she's wearing this bright white dress, so I feel highly guided to share it on a Sunday. And
Okay.
I don't know what she's gonna say.
I'd love to get it up on the do the thing.
We're not there yet.
I wish we were. I love to figure it out.
But I'm just gonna move the microphone so y'all can hear our mama really well, and bring over this.
Okay, can I get the stupid?
Sure.
Yeah. Prayers for humanity's awakening. May all my family and all beings that I have met along the path awake now to love they truly are. May we all move forward with love, peace, and happiness. May I reunite with my real twin flame and my family of light. That was Elsa. These are quotes. Just so everybody, what we're reading from is, this was placed in here from Mother and Father God in May of 2000, well, in March for May of 2000 for 2009 for humanity's awakening. And this stupa represents humanity's prayers of love coming into physical manifestation. Okay. Please let all of humanity awaken and ascend with all my love, flower child. My prayers for everyone to awaken to love all life on planet Earth and to truly look after her forever, no matter what it costs. Brett. We offer continuous prayer for us all for the best in all ways. Becky and Tom. Our continual prayer is that our children on planet Earth equal heart awaken into the love and truth they are. Today, March 20th, 2009, first day of spring. May the doors to the kingdom of heaven on earth embrace humanity, and may we stand together as one family. All said prayers, all decreed and granted by throughout creation, and the love called God, everywhere present, established. And so it is in heaven as it is on planet Earth, decreed and granted. Love, Mother and Father God, your parents of creation. It's a little, it stayed, how many years ago was that now? That's 5 years. Everybody, it's been sitting in here. In the joyful stupa You're supposed to walk it. You can do the walk. I don't like the dogs. I got which way I walk.
So for everyone on Telegram, Mom is walking in certain directions in the stupa to spread the energy basically in every direction.
Yeah, I feel it was on a Sunday, considering it was white. She was wearing all white. She would never wear all white unless it was Sunday or Saturday, depending. But yeah, that's stupa. That's Crestone. Beautiful stupa. We've all traveled there at one point or another. Those that were in the beginning of the mission. That prayer was still there in 2018, but then a year or two later, it had been taken out. Someone took it out. So I don't understand that. Because ours were there. We made more.
Interesting.
I put one in, and they're there. So, unfortunately, and it made me feel into the fact that that was the point of, Crestone, and with all of its stupas and ziggurats and different types of, beautiful, beautiful things. The one Buddhist, I guess you would call it another stupa type of deal. Beautiful, beautiful. And it's like, no matter who you are, what you are, come and enjoy this sacred space. Everyone treats it as such, and you'll feel that energy. That's the whole point, right? It's not about one religion or another, or one belief system or philosophy or, theory, or what. It's just the energy and how respectful we are towards things and how that manifests. So, what?
Faith shared that that specific prayer from Mother and Father God was gone in June this year. So yeah. Yours was still there.
Yeah. Right.
And I feel it's interesting, and even that is, kind of a divine test of letting go, because the energy is there no matter what. And I feel it was a very graceful video clip of Mom, and what she was here for is being the example of being love, showing us what to do as gods and goddesses upon this planet. So one thing, and I'm for example in the Mother Earth Council, we have a Sisterhood of the Rose chat, which is beautiful as well. It's basically the feminine aspect of the Knights of Templar. And all of that has, the base mission, I feel like, to be the guardians, to Mother Earth. And what that truly means is like allowing ourselves to realize our sacred energetic self, knowing that us walking down to a river and speaking a prayer, blessing the water, whatever it is, having a ceremony done, similar like Mom did in that video, like that's what we did lifetimes ago as priestesses, as priests, and connected to Earth, simply laying the energetic foundation of the statement, like, yes, we are one. Yes, I choose to see this planet as not only our host, but also as, this abundant giver of life. There's water in abundance. There's, anything we need to eat, any sort of herbs we need to have to stay healthy. It's all out there, and she's giving us back. So the Mother Earth Council, for example, has focused a lot of, finding that honor of being here, finding the respect back towards our host, and finding back to our, sacred individual self, able to bring in, that energy as well, and allow us to be so worthy of love that we're simply a vessel for Prime Source herself to express herself. What an honor. Woo!
Yeah. Interesting things. Interesting things.
Yes. Divine feminine power within us. Beautiful. And that's one thing to realize, is that, like, when we talk about coming into unity in this, divine feminine, divine masculine energy or aspect to be balanced out, like, that is a process that's had to happen first within yourself. Even we feminine are so out of balance that our masculine energies are overpowering, trying to control, trying to, whatever it is. rather than allowing that feminine aspect of being still, receiving that guidance, having that connection, and then from this like very flowy place, being able to interact. And it's a daily test where we, just have to check in with ourselves, like, where am I at? How am I feeling? Why am I doing what I'm doing right now? Do I have an expectation to myself? Does someone else has an expectation? Is it, my divine guidance that is bringing me a lot of joy in the moment? Then everything's good. But being truly honest with ourselves, allowing us to step out of a life that we used to live for so many lives, will open up the chance of becoming way grander, becoming our greatest version even, because someone came and showed us how, gave us all the tools, all the techniques, all the knowledge, reharded us. Like, there is a divine feminine mother aspect in all of you. Love yourself, nurture yourself, and then from that empowerment and peace, radiate that love. Let that energy flow through us, like in the morning gratitude prayer, where mom says, thank you, love, for pouring into the planet and through me. And then it kind of like goes in the planet and back out of the planet, reflected by the diamond heart. So all the rainbow energies everywhere. We just got to be open and tap into them. Whee!
I'm at a loss for words right now. It has many factors, but I feel one that's tripped me out is how light it is right now, because we just moved the clocks back. So I'm readjusting to reality at the moment.
Kat and Roxy, she said, I only knew the bitch female in me. Then I met mom. Haha. So true. Yeah, and Kelly said it's difficult at times to balancing that with work and home. And that's true, like especially the sessions that I had in the past couple of days. It's becoming more difficult to interact in a 3D and also realize like we're heading to something completely different. Merging heaven with earth is the topic for today. And like, that's literally the process we're in. So it's like, it's weird because you have the 3D system, it's crumbling down, it's not working, it's falling. We know it's being transformed. New earth is right around the corner. It's trickling in, but it's a process that we all have to just, surrender to however long it takes. And in the present moment, it can feel like a lot of chaos. It can feel like, being extremely drained after that time that we are at the 3D job, because like it is sucking the last energy it can, however possible. Because it knows it goes down. So after work, to really give yourself the time to have a bath or go on a walk or just sit at the river, whatever it is for you to detach and imagine this rainbow bubble of energy around you, for example. And like this one meme of the guy that is like pushing all away all these bad energies, all the bad vibes, and cutting cords with everyone. Put on music, have a dance party. That's what helps me.
Even if you'd like to know what helps you, check out Your Human Design.
Nice.
Because that's her thing. It's music. Apparently mine's hot food. Like these are like where we, I forget, they have a word for it, but I would just say this is a big piece of your puzzle. All right. So it's something you got to do or, act on, but it connects you. It helps you connect more to your higher self, because that's what your energy is requiring. It's to keep it loose, keep it moving, keep it going.
There's so many things, like the human design is one where we just had a brilliant session. Thank you, Hope. Basically as a fractal to start to understand, for example, some chakras that we have can be open or can be, I don't know if it's closed or what the other word is, but it's basically, what you mastered or what you open to receive a lot from the collective, basically. So it's super interesting to look into that, not only for yourself, but also for the family or people you're around, because it gives you more understanding of why certain dynamics are happening the way they are. And it's not always a bad thing. It's very often, just the way it is designed. And the astrology, the numerology, there's so many different ways, the gene keys, where you find out your individual blueprint. You'll find out like who your soul truly is, what really resonates with you, what can, even when I had my first numerology session, I was talking to Craigie in South Africa for an hour. Like I was just sitting there with a person explaining me my whole entire life and why everything is the way it is, just by numbers. Like my mind was blown, but it gives so much awareness, and awareness transforms. If you know you're a person that is, very easily triggered, and your reaction is controlling situations because like you get afraid or whatever, and your reaction is controlling, then oh, I get more aware. Like I'm starting to control a situation right now. I choose differently now. Just gonna sit back and watch. Just gonna hold space and let it unfold, because we don't have to interfere with everything. Like let everyone have their experience. Honor your own experience rather than involving yourself with something out of control. If you truly are honest to you and be like, all right, I'm not doing this right now. Whatever it is for me highest to do, like sit down and read about my gene keys. Amazing awarenesses, definitely. So many different sessions possible, things to look into. The gene keys is something you can do like external from our website, where you just go online and get your gene key design, and it basically gives the lower aspect, the higher aspect, and then the ascended aspect kind of certain things about you. And it's literally like a guide almost. You can follow.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mama.
Enjoy it. Enjoy all the different paths of understanding thyself, understanding those around you. You can do this very intuitively. It's very important, though, to bring certain things to your awareness. And when you look up things like your astrology, your numerology, your gene keys, your human design, the list goes on. Okay, that's going to be a gauge for you. It's going to be all these different gauges. It's going to be, you can have 5, 10 different gauges, and you got to look at all of them, and it makes you unique. This is your, pattern, right? Just like every snowflake is unique. This is your uniqueness. And so when you feel into that more and you look at that more, and then you realize what you're attracting more and who's around you, and if you start seeing a pattern with that too, you're going to finally break out of that. And I feel that's the biggest gift we can give, our children, right? The next generation, is this awareness of thyself, okay? Because as we raise up our levels and get to an awareness of understanding, and then it organically starts happening, your intuition starts picking up, these children will be born, coming full circle to what I said this morning, these children will be born into higher level consciousness fractals of energy, and they're going to be intuitively aware from the get-go, because they won't lose that connection. Why are children so pure? Why are children so beautiful? Why is everyone just change around a child? Majority for the better, rather than the ego and how it feels. Because they're the closest to heaven, the closest to the other side, the closest to the etheric, the closest to their higher self. And so we have to learn to foster that and to make sure and ensure that that's going to be carried out. Because we have to go back and get rid of those things. Let's give them a space where they don't have to do that. That's the whole point. And I feel that that's the most practical way of talking about things changing.
Yeah.
Because then these beings will make different decisions in life than we did, than our parents did, blah, 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 on and on. Change the timeline in the present moment and now.
That's exactly where what Mom's vision was with the crystal schools. It's been a lot of times the past couple of days or even weeks where that topic came up of like, how do I parent in 5D? Like, how can I even ensure that I can unconditionally love my child through the process without coming from a place of my own programming? So you see where it starts. It doesn't start by, the decision in the moment with the child. It starts by your inner work ahead of that, like realizing this is my belief system right now. This is, my control right now. And simply coming to the fact that we don't know shit. We don't. And at the moment that I found mom, I was with my daughter at that moment. She was like 2.5 or something like that. And like, I had to realize that I kind of like saw what my parents did with me, and I wanted to go, one moment. I wanted to go like the other way, and ended up going like complete opposite. Overdoing it, over loving, being almost this like helicopter mom in moments, and in other moments like allowing her a lot of freedom. So I had to change in that moment what I was doing and the way how I was doing it. And it was, difficult in moments where it's just really hard sometimes to keep the patience and to cool ourselves. So as long as we are in a place that we get like extremely triggered by some things our children do and then react, it's in us. And I feel that 1 year, what it taught me a lot is like having the compassion, stepping back and checking myself, and then checking in with the angels, like, where does my daughter come from right now? And, allowing out both of us to have those tough love rules, not rules, but like, outlines of the day. Like there are certain things that are just a no-go. Like we're not going to put the dog toy in our mouth because it's gross. And it's amazing how those simple adjustments, for example, the 1, 2, 3 technique, changed everything within like a week or two. It's so simple. So if there's anything you observe in your child that is, out of right action, out of alignment, like screaming, whining, or whatever, stay calm, stay in your heart center, tell your child what is wrong, or, what is the out of alignment, and count 1. Now you give them a moment, and then you'll count 2. You'll give them a moment, like give them the time to re-feel into it. Like, do I really have to like scream and be whining right now, or can I just ask nicely to have some water, for example? And then you say 3 if they don't change, and what you do then is simply like sit down and be still with them and give them time to reflect on themselves. Just breathe divinely in through the nose, out through the mouth, and allow transformation to happen, and then start new. Children are so in the present moment. If you upset them or they get upset, the next present moment, it's all gone. They just forget it. They're so, like I said, they're so close to heaven, and merging heaven into earth. I feel one topic for me is like what Jesus said is seeing and being like children again is what brings us back to heaven. So they truly are amazing teachers. That 1 year definitely taught me so much about myself and about creation. So the crystal schools give a whole roundup of, how to work on your own programming, how not to, how to choose differently with your child, how to divinely bring discipline into your child's life in a playful way, how to even, address topics that are 3D, like processing, or, like energies itself. Yeah. And beautiful things like crystals, dragons, animals, fairies, like everything, the imagination of a child, let's light up their smiles and their faces, is all packed into the crystal schools. And I freaking love it. I love where we're heading with that, because it's just getting bigger. So many people co-creating the content, moms guiding that beautifully. So if you feel this resonating with you, check out Mother Earth Crystal Schools. Yeah. Good
plug there. Very important. If you're someone that has children, or someone that even would like to have children, you're like, I'm definitely gonna have children. Understanding how crystal children work is really important, because the evidence is becoming more and more clear. More and more, when you look at science at the moment, and as we're moving even into quantum computing, right, and things like that, they're going to realize, I was seeing this last night, that we actually are transforming into crystalline beings, that we're going through an alchemic process as physical beings. It's happening to people on the planet as we speak. They're going through it, and this is changing the way that we have to look at the human body, the way it functions, and the basis of physics and reality. You know, what is metaphysics? Metaphysics is simply just what Aristotle wrote before he wrote the book Physics. And he talks about all these, like, you know, out there things about how reality works. So we need to go back to that and understand what true reality is, and get rid of this before and you know, because that's all it means. Meta means before. That's all. So when you start realizing this stuff, what's been shaping our societies and how that actually happened, it's just something we have to constantly be going, is that really the case? You know, what does this mean then? If that's what you're saying is reality, then how in the world did this happen? How on planet Earth did this occur? And that's the real question, because we're changing. And the children are coming out like that already. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
There's good comments. We got to talk about some of the comments.
Anna shared a quote, I feel, from one of her daughters. And she said, "My belly button is a portal." Get him. That's so true. Our hands are portals. The belly button is a portal. Like, we're portals. Wow. Get him, little crystal child. Nice. And Faye said, metaphysics is the first principle truth, the simplest truth of anything, aka the frequency. Makes sense.
And thank you for expressing that simply. I feel that there's a lot of people out there who that don't necessarily see it like that, and it's fascinating because the individual that taught me metaphysics was a staunch atheist, and previously, before, a philosophy professor, some type of scientist, like actual, like, biologist. So interesting stuff, you know, because he didn't look at it like that, so he didn't explain it like that, and that's going to be the biggest break. And so I'm grateful that we're bringing up the education system, and I know one of the beings up there said they might pull their child out if they mandate the jib. And yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You know, I was in the education system my whole life, went to college longer than I even needed to, and I will tell you that they, while give you certain interesting ideas, it was individuals who really looked towards me and gave me their energy and gave me good lessons, okay, that actually taught me something, because they were detached also. So when you learn detachment, because you don't own your child, that's not your child. Everyone gets that, thinks that all the time. They're like, well, you're mine and you're connected. Yeah, all that stuff, right? You're connected, but you're connected to everyone. You might feel more of a connection to someone that you meet in your 30s because you went through similar experiences, and you end up just actually feeling them and what's going on in them and them in you. And you can feel more connected than the person that actually birthed you into the realm.
And it's funny, Bobby said yesterday how she caught herself the other day to say towards her son, Leo, brother, like in some sort of way. And I was like, yes, exactly. Like, even though I am the physical portal, like this little human growing up child came through, she's my soul sister. Like, the divine parents are still, you know, mother and father God themselves. And we are here playing it out in this odd physical realm. Yeah. And here, Roxy had a beautiful comment. Mom placed her crystal charger in the hearts of children. We are all God's children at heart. The platform helps get in touch with our inner child, who are charging up the light grid. Whee! Inner child healing is a big theme, and I know that we're going to have a whole project about the inner child healing coming soon, I feel, in full force.
Say again. What did you say?
the inner child healing project will be, you know, it's not launched yet, but it is coming.
It's
and
going to be focus.
That's it. Like,
I feel for December, I feel that's going to be the focus.
Inner child healing is definitely
We'll let you
big.
know. But coming soon to a computer screen near you.
Yep.
Fun fact about the belly button portal. Back in the ancient moments, when we were the Essenes, that was one of the ceremonial ways to ingest cannabis oil was through the belly button portal in ceremony with the others, of course.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
Didn't we talk about essential oils too, and how that like absorbs through the belly button?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's because it's a very, thin membrane there. Interesting.
And it goes. It's my understanding that it goes practically everywhere throughout your system.
Yep.
The fastest, the furthest.
Because that's where the umbilical cord is.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it all comes from.
Yeah, all your nutrients that you need to
And
live.
one more thing that they would just repress is our connection to source, our connection to mom. It's just one more thing that we don't know about, that isn't practiced daily or even talked about, but it's yet one more of the things that's coming back to us also. So grateful. Love you guys.
Woohoo!
And Jen, that is sweet tea.
Sweet tea in the house, beloved brother.
He is loved and he is here.
2-minute truth talk with tea.
Yeah, you
organically.
can.
Nice. Yeah, there's so much about the belly button where, I came the other day to a question like, were we ever meant to be, attached to our mother's womb like that? Or is even that a 3D flip of it? I don't know. Shit. It's super fascinating though.
See, I don't like to put it in that because it's interesting. It made my tooth feel something because I feel to like look at it as 3D is kind of boxing it in. I feel we were regressed in our evolution. That's what the ego did. It regressed our evolution and it caused a lot of things to be created out of it that are very physical. Because creation is not this physical, okay? I mean, feel into it. Feel in the notion of seeing extra dimensional entities and how it's typically a being of light in and of itself, something you can barely even see, but you can maybe just sense. And so most of creation is in a higher vibrational state to the point that they're not in physicality. I mean, I feel this is one of the only, if not the only, physical places. So in essence, and I can see the comments too, and we'll get to those in just a second. I love it. The cabal injected this egotistical thing that we call the ego, and it created a lot of different experiences for us that are more in your face, raw, visceral, and low, and to keep you in that and keep perpetuating it. So yeah, I feel you though. The notion of attachment that and that why do we need an umbilical cord? How come it's not energetic? And why is it so physical? Why does the child need nutrients so physically when it can be an energetic exchange?
Right.
And that's the people are like, how? That's insane. You can't do that. You got to eat. You got this. And I'm like, of course, we're still there. But why not? Why? Read the Celestine prophecy. When you get to the Shambhala book, okay, I feel it's called The Road to Shambhala, and that's like the 11th insight or 12th one. I forget. It's after the first book. Then it talks about babies being inside women's stomachs in this beautiful, divine, heaven-like place that is like this Buddhist notion of Shambhala, okay? And the child would phase shift out of her stomach. I mean, that's in the book. That's what I read years ago. So to me, that was seated in me like, yeah, maybe it's not as physical as you think it is. And that like a baby doesn't have to be birthed through a canal of, and through a woman, but that maybe the baby just manifests of light.
That's interesting.
Like kind of like in Star Trek, like that's literally what it is. Maybe we don't have to be babies anymore. Maybe we'll just come out of starships.
Right.
I feel like Han Solo right now with the way I'm dressed. Just throwing it out there.
Nice.
Yes. I didn't even, that just happened. Okay.
That's so funny. Yeah, there's no limit to our imagination, and in the end, we still don't know shit, and we cannot go there. Like heaven will be greater and grander beyond anything we can, imagine or put out there. So, yeah, that's the exciting thing about the unknown. We don't know shit, but we know it can only go upwards, go towards the light. Heaven is merging with earth, and it's inevitable.
This is awesome. Your comments are all awesome.
We love you guys.
You're There's just even, I know Faith had made a comment that, it's all cabal, and, she's referring, I feel, back to the whole birthing process, the whole thing, that's why I went into it. I can feel it. And manifestation babies, that's a funny idea, Elle. I mean, I don't know. What if it happens? I mean, who knows? Who knows? And then, because to me, that is wild and crazy. It's not something that we're necessarily witnessing. It is an idea, though, and that thought system is what creates reality. And we're talking about these solar flares. We're talking about the sun increasing energetically to a point that it's going to change its being, and it's going to then change our being. And, because of the simple fact that these are energetic plasma waves that are hitting the planet. Okay, delivered by a stork. Yeah, maybe there's something to that. Maybe there's something to the stork.
Yo, Mike, that's exactly how it happens in Germany.
It just drops.
It just drops.
I mean, it's good to pray for it, and I feel that ultimately we can all get a lot more organic with it.
Right.
It doesn't have to be so sterile, the whole experience. Yet it's, yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it really comes out of like, who are you? Who have you been that you don't want to be anymore? Like, what doesn't resonate with you anymore? And every day new, finding out who you truly are. And you're going to be amazed by, the light, the power you truly are once you transform any fear around that. What do you think?
Yeah, Kelly is just expressing herself too about, her child being on ADHD medication. Highly recommend, getting off that. It's something that I almost did, but my parents never pushed it on me. They never, ever pushed it. And my father died from an overdose of pills too. So it was something that just wasn't big in the family after that. Highly recommend that. You got to get it organic. Don't panic. I see even a guy on TikTok who has ADHD, and he just lets it fly. And he explains it himself and how he is. And it's really helpful stuff like that because he got creative. So there's a reason. I feel the ADHD is what happens when you're put into a box all day.
I'm an ADHD human being, I guess. I was diagnosed with that, as a child. And what the angels guide me right now to tell you is like, don't you ever beat yourself up. Like
No.
2 years ago, you didn't know any better. You had no idea, and the beautiful thing is at the present moment, you can, change your decisions, and you can, go a different direction. You can trust that even the fact of, him taking that medicine is part of his contract. So if he, gets off of that medicine, if he is able, and there's so many ways to do that. If you feel guided to connect, Kelly, please do. Like I said, I have had ADHD myself, and my mom did a lot of things, organically and, practically that helped with that to cope, because it's not a disorder. Like, we're not sick. It's not a disorder. It's just their system doesn't fit to our energetics. So you can do a lot of energy work. There's so many ways. At the end of the day, his contract was to go through this experience, and he's representing a collective of, children that had to go through that. So if he's able to, transform it, and you guys together find a way to go or come away from that, then this as well is a ripple effect down, to all other beings that are in that same position or situation. So
Yeah, we got to gather in
yes, you are so very welcome.
The sun's coming in.
Yay!
I
That's
guess it's from
beautiful.
over here now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sweet.
nice.
That's our sundial.
Yeah, that's the sun sign on the Sunday, allowing those beautiful rays to stream in and send some light out to you guys, and a lot of love. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for participating. Thank you for choosing love. Thank you for allowing change to happen. And thank you for showing up for yourself.
Woo!
We love you very
love
much.
You. Very, very much. Very, very much. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for joining us today. I see a lot of you have just stayed consistently throughout this, and we're very grateful. share, subscribe, hit that notification button. Keep enjoying yourself. Watch for some more things coming. Who knows? I don't. But hey, what's going to happen? We're going to be love. So enjoy it, everyone.
Yay!
Yay!
Sunshine! We love you.
Do we do a song or something? Or no?
5,
6,
7.
8.
Mama, mama.
Oh,
Mama, hey, love is one.
and the love shines in you.
Mama, mama. Mama, mama. Hey, love
has won.
We love you guys. Book your session. Count your blessing. And it doesn't let me stop right now. That's funny.
Oh no.
Ha!
Good stuff.
What is it doing?
You got this?
Yes.
There
we
go.
go.
Just had to do it right, do it tight.
Nicely done, guys.
Woohoo!